Josh, you do a lot of tax returns, and I think everyone needs to know that if you need your tax returns done, it's really important. A lot of people who know they got to come to the surface, they want to jump in here. There are businesses, Josh, that they've lost their records. They don't know what to do. We don't get a lot of W-2 wage earners because you have money withheld out of your check. But if you're hearing this and you're self-employed, and you know your records are a mess, you've never used QuickBooks, Josh, what does a person do whose records are a mess to go ahead? How do they file their returns and even file an offer? Just step to that. If we don't have a lot of time left, but let them know what they do.
When somebody has self-employment income and they have no record or they've lost their records of all their expenses, the IRS has a very keen eye to look out for what works and what doesn't. Made up figures, just a frame of reference. For 8 years in a row, I did an audit a week before the IRS, 2014 through 2022. I did 360, 370 different audits. And by and large, if your numbers on your expenses end in 2 zeros, that's a red flag for the IRS to catch you. So when you're doing expenses, you need to be accurate. You need to use your actual expenses. But if you don't have that, let's be realistic. You're a guy who cuts down trees. You're excellent at what you do, but you're not an accountant. Or if you fix cars, you're excellent at what you do, but you're not an accountant. The problem is the IRS has a standard for everybody, and that is to be at their level of accounting. They want you to keep track of all your expenses. So in those situations, we can help people use IRS approved methods. These are in the Internal Revenue Manual. It doesn't have the force of law, but it's the way the IRS operates. It's their code of conduct. It's how their order of operations, their standard
Josh,
operating procedure goes.
It's fair to say that how IRS, there's the law and there's a policy. It's just like the 6-year filing rule. You're to file all your returns, but the policy is to file 6. So IRS has policies, right, Josh, that they will look to accept these methods, correct?
Yes, and in their policy manual, they have 9 that are stated. Now, there's different locations in different areas of law for the U.S. Treasury that we can find 3, maybe 4 other options that you can utilize. We select the one that is most advantageous for a taxpayer, and then we're able to help you reconstruct your expenses based on where you live, what your industry is, and the tax year that we look at.
And Josh,
the size of business that you're doing, all kinds of things. Type of business that you're in, you're an S Corp or you're a sole proprietor or you're a partnership. We look at that all, we put together the numbers for the IRS.
And Josh, more important, we keep you out of an audit situation. We kind of know the audit thresholds. We know what's going on. So if you call us, and let me tell you, we don't take all clients. I'm going to be really honest with you. You better know this. If we call and we feel that you're trying to pull the wool, we have an excellent track record. We're thought very high of in the industry. What you're going to get from us is professionalism, and we're going to give you a return that you're proud of. You're going to get the most deductions. You're going to pay the least amount of tax, but more important, you're going to have the assurance that you're not going to have IRS knocking on your door for any criminal or civil proceeding, correct?
If you haven't filed in the last 6 years and you need help getting your taxes taken care of, that's what I do. I've been doing that for 22 years. There are a few little tweaks that we can take care of if you haven't kept track of your expenses. And that's what I specialize in, helping people who are self-employed or who own a business who haven't had any accounting done, get the best situation to get the amount of tax debt that they owe to the IRS as low as possible. And then working with Mike, we can take a look at which one of the alternatives to collections, if it's an offer and compromise, payment plan, partial pay payment plan, currently not collectible, or in some cases, we help people abate penalties. But we want to look at the best situation possible for you and get you out of the IRS mess so you can move on with your life and start doing something more productive with your life instead of looking behind your back
Josh,
as the IRS is looking at you.
Tax planning as well. So if you get to a season in your life, the other thing I want you to know is Josh has the shittiest plant that sits next to him in that green pot. Now, I want to tell you, if you agree with me, I want you to give Josh a like. The more likes this guy gets because of this plant, it's going to make him know he's going to change it. So, Josh, let me ask you something. How long has that shitty Dieffenbachia been sitting there? Can you tell everybody, please?
It has a 5-year lifespan. It's been here in my office, and it's surviving these harsh winters that we get here in Minnesota. So cold, wind, snow, it's still kicking, all right? So it's a sturdy grit type of Dieffenbachia.
It's kind of like us, is that plant really reflects who we are, right? You can't, and listen.
Rough around the edges, but we know how to get it done.
Yeah, let me just give you a close. You know, if you want to hire someone cheap, you're going to get cheap. Your tax situation, you know, if you don't pay this, I just want you to know, IRS does, if you owe over $62,000 in tax and you don't answer IRS letters, 4 things are going to happen to you. And you better know what they are. Your bank's going to get levied. Your wages are going to get garnished. IRS is going to send you a 508C letter. Let me tell you what that is. That 508C letter requires a federal tax lien to be filed. And then, guess what? What's going to happen at $62,000, Josh?
You're going to have your passport revoked. They're going to file a document with the Secretary of State. You're not going to be able to renew your passport.
Yeah. So IRS is serious about this. So anyway, at some point in time, we take questions. You can always email or call us, call Josh, whatever. I'm kind of more south. I'm kind of more civilized. Josh is really a snowman up in Minnesota. So if you appreciate the snow, you go ahead and talk to Josh. If you like the sunshine, you go ahead and call me. But we work really as a team. We both do good work. And more important, 2 things you're going to get with us: honesty, and we're trustworthy with everyone we contact. And we don't take all cases because, to be truthful, some cases we can't fix because of the situation you're in, you're finding. We've got to wait till you're cleaned up, till you're shined up, because we don't want to get you in any trouble with the IRS, and we know what trouble is like. Correct, Josh?
You bet. So if this is something you might be interested in, reach out to me on the web or give me a call, 763-477-4205, and we'll take a look at your case.
Josh,
see what we got.
If someone contacts you, would you send them a Dieffenbachia plant, something like that? Would you put that in an Amazon box and send that to them? Would you do that for me?
I would do something more along the lines like what you would do, which is send them a box of fairy dust.
I have saltwater taffy. It's a Florida thing, so you'll get that. Anyway, listen, it was a pleasure. God bless all of you, and happy. Oh, Josh, when does filing season start this year?
This year, January 26th, we're going to be able to start e-filing some tax returns. So I've already got some clients lined up to have their taxes e-filed. I've got 4 returns on my desk that I've already completed, and we're going to get those taken care of. We've got somebody coming in later on this afternoon to take a look at their taxes too. So
Josh,
if you have any questions, give us a call.
Do you have a calendar link if people want you to contact you to do your return? Is there a link?
You can look in the description below. There'll be a calendar link to set up an appointment, or there'll also be a link in there to set up an account with us to see if you want to start submitting documents for us to take a look at to see if you're a qualified candidate for an offer. That's the best place to go. So if you have any questions, give me a call or visit us on the web. All the contact information is in the description.
Josh, we got to give everyone a namaste. Ready? On 3. 1, 2, 3. Namaste.
Namaste. All right. Take care. Thanks, Mike.